Hey guys, I'm Foden and let's talk about how and where to get Japanese yen for traveling in Japan. I'm looking around but I can't see anything Japanese like. I'm living in Japan. So you are going to Japan and you need the local currency because Japan is still pretty much a cash-based country. So how and where do you get Japanese yen? Well, there are a couple of ways which I'll talk about, but I have one I recommend the most as it is the most easiest and probably the cheapest, like the least expensive way. So let's go over all the possibilities of how to get Japanese yen. Number one, your local bank. There's a big chance that your local bank will be able to exchange money to the Japanese yen from your local currency. Rates will mostly be decent and most of the time you will get it quite quickly. So it's a quick and easy way. This method allows you to wait a little bit until the exchange rates are quite favorable, which will give you more money for your local currency, which is a good thing. However, of what I discovered in Belgium when I came to Japan for the first couple of times, there's only one bank in Belgium who currently exchanges money to Japanese yen, and that one wasn't one of the two banks that I was using at the time. Because if you want to exchange the currency to Japanese yen at that bank, you need to have an account at that bank, and I didn't want to have 3 bank accounts. So look around, ask around if your local bank can do it or not. If they can't, ask your friends if their banks can do it, and then just do it through your friend. Like I think I did it through my grandmother. First time when I came to Japan, to have at least some amount of money before I came here. Number 2, online. There are a lot of online services to exchange your money, and I haven't had a good experience with them so far. So from my point of view, basically don't trust them unless you really have no other choice, but still, wait until my last possibility of how to get Japanese yen, because that's probably the one that, well, that is the one that I recommend the most. So try to avoid online exchange of money, because you never know if it's a scam, you never know if there's something going to be wrong with it. Number 3, exchange offices. You can have exchange offices in your own country or the ones here in Japan. However, they can be very expensive and the rates aren't always very good. Mostly you can find these in bigger cities or at the airport, so only use these in emergencies if there's really no other choice for you how to get Japanese yen. It's not a secret, but the exchange rates are quite bad. Number 4, ask friends. Ask your friends if they have gone to Japan already and if they have some money left over, which you can buy from them at a more favorable exchange rate. The cost that you will pay for this really depends on how good your friendship is. If they're very close friends, maybe you'll get a very good exchange rate. If they're very catchy, then expect to pay more than exchange officers, but at least you'll have Japanese yen before coming here. But this is probably the most difficult one for many people, because not many people have gone to Japan and have a lot of extra money left over. And if you're like me, it's not really a decent advice. It's not really good advice because you need friends for this thing to work. And possibility number 5, the Japan method. So there's one more method for getting Japanese yen here in Japan, which I always recommend is, well, it's also probably the safest and easiest and least expensive way to do it. For this method, just go to Japan without any Japanese yen. It may sound scary, but trust me, it's completely safe to do. Like, you don't need Japanese yen upon arrival in the airport. You might think it's kind of a problem, however, all airports in Japan have banks and or convenience stores available. So those places have an ATM where you can withdraw money. My recommendation is using the convenience stores ATMs, as I found that those are the least expensive way to get Japanese yen. They take a smaller cut compared to the banks here in Japan. And most of the ATMs even accept Maestro, so you don't need a credit card. Debit cards can also work. But don't just go to any convenience store, because as I found out last month with my parents visiting Japan, we went to Lawson, 7-Eleven, Family Mart. Lawson and 7-Eleven have a very high fee upon the kind of so-so exchange rate. And what we found out basically was Family Mart has the best, has the lowest rate of money that they take per transaction. Plus the exchange rate is also quite good, of what we've discovered. So when you land in Japan and you need to have money for the train or something to go to the city to find an ATM, maybe just withdraw from a convenience store in the airport or just from a bank ATM, pay your train tickets, and when you arrive in the city, withdraw all the money that you need for your entire trip. But convenience stores, they're quite convenient, so you have them everywhere, so you probably find a Family Mart everywhere where you go, so it's not really that big of a problem. And that's basically the method that I would recommend. Just go to a Family Mart, withdraw money there. You don't need money before coming to Japan. That's like, I've came here now 9 times in total. Only the first time I got money with me, and the second time I had some money left over, but I knew it was going to be daijoubu, so I just went to convenience stores here. In the beginning I often went to 7-Eleven, but found out that they actually take quite a big fee on the money that you withdraw. Same for Lawson. Yeah. Luckily my most favorite convenience store here in Japan is Family Mart, so that's the one that I often went to. However, this information will probably change over time, so look and see the fees that they charge before withdrawing money and go to different ATMs. Like, may be kind of a busy first day in Japan if you follow this method, but you'll save a lot of money and you'll get more Japanese yen for your money. So when you're going on your trip to Japan, don't stress if you don't have any Japanese yen before arriving in Japan. You'll be fine as long as you have a debit or credit card. Withdraw from any of the very convenient ATMs and you're good to go. Oh, but before you come to Japan, remember to go to your bank and notify them that you'll be going abroad to Japan, so they don't block your card for suspicious activities when using it abroad, or straight out don't work when you're trying to use them abroad. Luckily, most banks have an online website on which you can enable that for use outside of Belgium, for example. Like, my parents came here, they tried to withdraw money. Their card got refused. We didn't know why until I realized from, oh wait, did you go to your bank? Did you say that you will choose it in Japan? They didn't. They came back to our home, did it online, and the next day they were able to withdraw money. Luckily. And also check if your withdrawal limit is high enough. Most banks and ATMs only allow withdrawing up to like 500 euros, like around 6,000 yen, 9,000 yen, kurai. Really depends on your bank. Check them. Also check the place where you withdraw money, like what the limit is, so you don't run into any trouble. So yeah, that's all my advice on getting money in Japan. I hope you learned something new, and yeah, enjoy spending money in Japan. Bye bye.